Hello and welcome to Black Cats Chat, the international fans podcast for Sunderland AFC. My name is Lee Thirkell. I'm from the Bilbao Black Cats, and today I'm joined by my good friend Sean Coxon, who is originally from Gateshead, but he now lives in New Jersey in USA, and he's part of the SAFC NASA branch. Good morning to where you are, Sean. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
All right, champion. Well,
Good
despite the
morning.
loss yesterday.
Yeah,
But anyway, so today we're going to touch on several different things. We're going to touch on the match yesterday. We're going to look at the season so far, and we're going to also look at the Burnley game next week. But
sounds
anyway,
good.
yeah. Anyway, Sean, we'll start with yesterday then. Regis made 5 changes. So it wasn't the same as the Preston game in the League Cup earlier in the season where he made the 11 changes. He'd only made 5, so we had some first teamers in there.
We did.
So, and we did compete, and we probably should have got a better result, but we didn't in the end. So what did you make of the defeat yesterday?
Listen, I was disappointed. I said to everyone before the game in the group chat, like, I like the FA Cup, and for people to just pie it off and say, they're not interested and stuff, it annoys us. It really does, because I understand people saying, well, the championship team's not going to win it, but so what? Like, you've got to try. And I was pleased, actually. I thought he put a decent enough side out. Um, First half was like a pre-season, wasn't it? It wasn't great at the first half. It was awful, especially getting off for the worst possible start. Um, but look, second half, I thought after we scored, I thought we should have went on to win the game in normal time. You know, we didn't, and like I say, I'm disappointed. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean the changes he made, he brought Moura in goal, which I thought was probably expected.
yeah,
Leo Hilda came in at centre back. I think he's been all right. He's been patient, and he had a good game
he
yesterday.
did. He played well.
Yeah, and Harrison Jones came in the middle, which I thought was a bit surprising. I thought he might give Alexic a start,
Yeah,
but yeah, Jones did all right. Nothing fancy, he was steady away. And then Chrissy Rigg came back in after injury, which is good news that he's back. And then Aaron Connolly played up front. Now, people are slating Connolly on social media and forums, but like he ran his bollocks off for
do you
120
know what
minutes, didn't he?
I was gonna say? He was feeding on scraps,
Yeah.
right? And he like he was working hard. You kind of give him grief for that. Oh, listen, all we ask is that players come in and graft.
Yep.
Try, and look, you can see he ain't gonna get you 20. He ain't, right? He's not gonna get you 20 goals a season, but as you see, he come in and he tried and he worked and he ran the channel and he ran and chased lost causes, and I thought he was actually okay. I do. I thought he was
Yeah.
better than my ender in
Mm,
terms of work rate.
yeah.
So,
Well,
like,
I think like the first half, he was just basically waiting for the service.
yeah,
And the second half, I think he just took things into his own hands and he said, "Bollocks to this, I'm gonna have to do it myself."
yeah,
And he had that chance anyway. He brought it down nicely and had a smashing shot. So I thought he was all right. I mean, if he gets a bit more service, he'll be all right.
yeah.
Right then, the first goal, Sean, after 2 minutes, I mean, it was like a comedy of errors, wasn't it? I mean, the pass from Dan Neil to Moore was like ridiculous. Moore had the chances to like blast upfield. He didn't. He decided to play it to O9,
Uh,
and then O9 just turned into a blind alley, and then a penalty. The worst start possible, wasn't it?
I mean, I spoke about it the other day to me mate, right? About teams playing out from the back constantly and keep that like everyone thinks the Pep now and everyone thinks the Barcelona. Like I see it in youth football all the time with his coaching, like, and I just think he's on minging what he's doing. The amounts of goal, like especially there, right? You've got a keeper who hasn't played much, right? You've got a back four that isn't a regular back four, and like you said there, just put your foot through that ball, just clear your lines. And I mean, 09 didn't deal with it great, but look, in the back pass itself, but it's preventable. It is, and it's a stupid goal to give away. Ridiculous.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah, and then, well, we got back into it in the second half. We got a nice little goal from Alexic, who came on, probably his first touch. But again, I think it was a good game from Adil Aushish. He's really staking a claim, isn't he, for that left wing place?
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of people saying sell him and stuff. I don't know about you. I'd keep him. Honestly, I think every time I see him, I like the look of him. I think he shows glimpses of promise. I liked him last season, when he first come in, I thought there's a player in there. And if he settles, I do honestly think I would keep him. I think he's got something to offer. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And the thing is, right, I was at the QPR game last season, I think it was in September, and we beat them there. I think it was like 2-1 or 3-1.
Right. Yeah.
And I think he made his debut. Now, I can't remember if it was his debut or if it was his second game. He came off the bench, and Mowbray actually put him on the left wing, and he set up one of the goals. I think it was for Abdullah Bai. He set up one of the goals. So I like him on the left wing, and he reminds me a bit of Alan Johnston because he likes to cut inside
Yeah.
and whip balls in. And he had that shot yesterday where he almost scored from the left hand side, and it was just like reminding me of Alan Johnston. So I would keep him 100% because I think he's got something a little bit different that you
Yeah.
don't
Do you know
get
what?
with
Like,
Watson and Mundle because they're more direct wingers where he isn't.
he gets to the byline a bit more. And you know what as well? I like the way he'll try something with the outside of the foot, or it may not work, right? But like
Yeah,
you've just said there, you go, it was different.
yeah,
Like he'll try and ping one, or he'll try and float one, or he just if it's not working, he'll try something. I like honestly, I think the boy's a decent player,
yeah,
so I would definitely keep him around if we
yeah.
can.
Well, fingers crossed we will.
Yeah.
Another thing where we had a debut finally for Salis Samed. For me, it looked like a bit of a Jan Kirchhoff debut, didn't it?
But you know what? He's getting grief online and stuff, right? Like, give over, man. Like the lad's probably played. It's his first game in months and months and months, right? Because from what I'm hearing, he didn't have a pre-season, right? He was injured, so he wouldn't have played for ages.
Yeah,
And he's coming back. He's had what? He's came on, and he's had extra time, which was good. I'm pleased he got extra time under him. But like, he's made one or two errors. I thought up until that he was neat and tidy,
mm,
and he was looking for the ball. He was trying to get on it. He's made one error. He's rusty. What do you want?
yeah.
I would have personally started him, by the way. I think putting him on the bench, I'd have rather start him and give him 50 minutes, 60 minutes, then took him off, personally. But, he's went the other way with it, so fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, no, I think for me, the way when he was receiving the ball, it was just like his feet was doing one thing, but his brain was telling him a different thing.
Yeah,
It was like the typical thing where you haven't touched the ball for like years
yeah,
and years. You remember, like, I mean, I played a charity match a couple of years ago, and I hadn't played for several years, and I thought, oh, I can do this, and I just like made myself look a fool, because falling over it all the
yeah.
time. But I mean, it's not the end of the world from it all. I mean, as you said, he's been out for 5 months. I think he obviously you said that he wanted the ball.
Yeah, of
He was comfortable to get the ball. It's just he had that rustiness. And
course it is.
but my question to you, Sean, is how is he going to get that match sharpness if Lebris doesn't really like to make subs? And I don't
And,
think.
well, do you know what, as well? This is, like, I was having this argument yesterday online where people are saying I'm glad we're out the cup. I'm like, what do you mean you're glad? Like, because the fourth round, right? Another game would have meant more minutes for the likes of Helder, the likes of Samad, Alexa. Like, it only benefits them. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not a bad thing. So, as you say, it's tough to know because he'll be on the training pitch all week, but he ain't going to start against Burnley. Not a chance. He'll be on the bench, but I don't know. I think he's just going to drip feed him in 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, isn't he? It's probably all he can do, you know?
Do you know what? I don't think he might be on the bench on against Burnley. I think he's going to put. I think he'll put. What's he called? Lefebvre, the new guy, on
Yeah.
the bench.
He'll have two of them, won't he?
Well, it depends if he goes with two up front or three in the
Yeah.
midfield like last time. But anyway, we'll get into that later. So yeah, bit of a mixed debut for him. But yeah, hopefully he can get up to speed and help us get to the end of the season. Right then, another thing yesterday, Sean, was the attendance. Now, a lot of
Yeah.
criticism. It's not just Sunderland; it is all over the country. It
It
seems.
is. I was
Yeah,
going to point that out. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yesterday the 15,000 at the Stadium of Light, 25,000 off the normal gate. I mean, it was like 20 quid a ticket for non-season ticket holders, adults, and 15 quid a ticket for season ticket holders, and then a
Yeah.
fiver for kids under 14. That's not a bad price, is it?
It isn't, no. I mean, oh, where do I start with this? Like, I get it. Like, people are saying, well, we've played Stoke. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I said to my old man, right, because my dad never went, and I had a moan at my dad. I goes, what are you not going for? So I'm full of cold. I went, bollocks. So what kind of excuse is that? And he went, well, I've seen what play. I went, so? He went, oh, I'm just going to chill out and go to the pub and have like a few hours on the drink. And I just moaned. I was like, Dad, I went, it's, I never missed an FA Cup game. Like, I don't understand it, man. Like, what do you want? I get why they're getting criticised because 15,000, that's shocking. That it is, by the way, and the prices weren't overly expensive, like you say. I understand, right? It's just after the Christmas, we get that, okay? But come on, 15 quid for a season ticket. Or like one of my dad's excuses was, oh, well, I won't be to get me regular seat. I went, and
Yeah.
so what? Go sit somewhere else. Like you're just looking for, do you know what I mean? You're just looking for excuses. It just annoyed us. It really
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, I mean, some of the excuses I saw on social media were like, well, I've already played Stoke twice. I don't want to see them
Yeah.
for the third time. And then another one was like saying, why am I going to pay that money to see a glorified reserve team? Which I thought was a bit insulting, really, because
So do I.
we had five first team players and we had like the first team squad players.
Yeah.
So it's not really reserve team, is it not? I mean, you can only really say like what Harrison Jones is the only one who doesn't play regular first team, but I mean the other lads. So I
You
thought it was quite disappointing.
you can't have a go. You can't have a go at the team, right, for putting in a lackluster performance when that's the fans' attitude. On it, you can't like. There's people moaning online that it wasn't good. But most of the fans tossed it off anyway. So you can't go have a moan if you didn't go right and you didn't bother to get your arse there. You can't moan about the performance or the atmosphere.
Yeah,
So it just annoyed me because I think like we all have cup memories, don't we? Right? And I used to love it as a kid. Going to I watched we play Carlisle. I've been there, but yet, like I remember Port Vale at the stadium. Like when I was a kid, I've sat and watched we play Kidderminster and loads of sides where I've went. It's a laugh. This, it is. It's and I love when we progress. And yeah, like I say, just the way that it's been besmirched. And as you said there, look, it's clubs all over the country as well. I think Borough had hard like the same, and Coventry there
and
wasn't many there, and
Sheffield United had 5,000, I think, there as well.
it's poor. It
Yeah,
really is, and I don't know why it's happening. I really don't. Like I'd like to. What else can they do? Can they put prices down to a tenner, or I'm not sure what they can do.
yeah,
But something's got to be done because it's pretty sad, for such a historical cup,
yeah.
So
Well, I mean, going back to the point of like the excuses, no, like it's like we're playing Stoke, it's played them two times already, it's a glorified reserve team. But on the flip side of that, these fans will still pay over the price to go to Benidorm and watch us playing pre-season in Alicante and
yeah,
Murcia. Do you know what I mean? Because there
I
were
know.
like 3,000 at the Forest game. Do you know what I mean? So they will pay for it, but it's
Yeah,
only when
I
it
agree.
suits them. It's only when it suits them, isn't it? So for me, it was disappointing, and
It was.
I'll probably get slated, but I mean, I don't care.
Nah,
It just
I'm the
annoyed me.
same. I've been arguing with people. I don't care. I'm like, whatever. It's my opinion. It's wrong. Like, obviously, if I was there, I would have went. And I know you would have done. And I just think, like I say, my pal went. I've got a mate who never misses, and he sat on his own there, and he was the same. He had a moan. He was like, "Don't go," because do you know what? This is the thing, Lee. Right? Like, say it would progressed. Now, obviously, hypothetically, right, would got to Wembley, right? All these people would have been camping out for tickets, right? There would have been, camping out. I want one for me nana. I want one for this, one for that one. I'd done it years ago when we got to the League Cup final. I was at every game, all the way from the third round all the way through. And then you turn around and go, them people who've sat there from the third round, fourth round, fifth round, they should get a ticket for the final. They
Mhm,
should,
mhm.
and because yourselves, if we got a sniff in the quarterfinals or semis, they'd be fighting for tickets, wouldn't they? But
Yep.
they weren't interested when they played Stoke. So, yeah, you can't have it both ways.
Yep. No, we can't. Right then. So we've had our bit of a moan on that.
Yep.
But anyway, we're going to focus now, Sean, on the season so far. So here's the stats. We've had 14 wins, 8 draws, and 4 losses. Currently in fourth place, 50 points, 2 points behind Burnley and Sheffield United, 3 points behind Leeds. I mean, it could have been better, but still, it's a pretty good position to be in at this stage of
It
the
is.
season.
It is a good position to be in. I'm happy. Listen, at the start of the season, you didn't know what expected you, right? And I think we've touched on this and stuff. Like, it was a bit up in the air. There wasn't a good taste in people's mouths, because of like last season was difficult, wasn't it? Because remember this time last season, right? There was that whole fiasco with the mags in the cup, And it was just terrible what happened, and everyone was still moaning about it and stuff, and like they just didn't do themselves any favors the way the season just tailored off, and no one knew what to expect, did they? And there was that much upheaval with managers, and Speakman was getting a lot of grief in the owner and stuff, and rightly so, because last season wasn't good enough. But do you know what? They've stumbled across something with Regis, and like I say, he was maybe fifth choice, sixth choice, if you believe what you believe, and I just think it's working. I think if you'd offered me this at the start, I would have took your hand off, because I said at the start, let's aim for the playoffs, and we're more than, what are we, 12? What's the gap? 11 points or
11
something?
points. Yeah.
11 points, right? And you look at it and go, not a chance we're throwing that away. We're not, It would take something disastrous, wouldn't it?
Yep.
So I'm happy. I really am. I think we haven't lost many games, which I think's good, because we're always in games, and we've drew a few games that we should have won. We have, like the Coventry and the West Brom game at the Stadium of Light, when Isidore's goal, he wasn't offside, But listen, we've had a bit of fortune as well. We have, like the Leeds game, and so I'd like to think it swings itself around. So happy, I
Yeah.
am up to now.
Well, I mean, people were saying like last season they were disappointed, and then this season they don't know what to expect, and like
Yeah,
they thought we were going to be in another struggle. But if you go back to that first season in the Championship, a lot of the players then are still here now. Do you know what I mean?
they
Like
are.
the back five, for example, you've got Dan Neil in there, you've
Yeah,
got Roberts. I mean, all those lads were in so we did have good players, and as you said, we didn't have the right person to guide them. And Regis is coming in. What I like about him. Well, I mean, there's things I like about him and there's things I dislike about him. I mean, well, obviously, the dislike is like the substitutes and the
yeah.
rotation. But I mean, the thing I like about him is that he's very calm. He doesn't get too high, he doesn't get
No, he
too
doesn't.
low. And I think that's like very positive for the players, isn't it?
Do you think now though, right? Like, say I've been a crit. Like, there's not much you can criticize him with at the minute, but I think you're right. I think the subs thing, but when you've looked at the bench, man, like sometimes the bench has been minging, man. It's been honking, and you've looked and went, look at the state of that bench, right? Like, and if you turn around as a coach and the bench, you've got nothing there. It's not kids football where like I'll turn around and I've got to put kids in, and I think, oh shit, I don't even want to put them in, but I have to because it's the rules and they're there to play. It's like it's competitive. It's men's football. It's a results business, and I think now we've got Lefay in there and Samad, and we've got players back. The bench is going to be strong, and I think he's going to look. I think he's going to make changes. I do, and I just think it could have been that we've been so threadbare that he just hasn't had faith in the likes of Russian and stuff. So that's my thoughts. Hopefully,
Yeah. Well, touching on our 14 wins then, Sean, we've had some good wins in there, but recently a lot of people are saying like, oh, we're just like sooner or later we're going to tonk someone because of the way we're
yeah,
playing.
we
We're
are.
going to we're going to win 4-5-0. But if you look through our wins so far, the only really time we've tonked somebody was like Chef Wed at home 4-0,
Yeah,
and you could maybe argue Portsmouth away 3-1. But
yeah, and in the Derby game, so we've had a lot of comfortable games as well, haven't we? Like that
yeah,
Derby game at the stadium, that was comfortable, and
Oxford.
that have, yeah. So I think it will come, it will. But
Mm,
hey, on the flip side as well, we haven't been tonked ourselves, have we?
no, not at all. I mean, looking at this, we had the Watford defeat.
We've lost by a
Uh,
goal in every game.
yeah, a goal. Stoke, Sheffield United, Watford,
Yeah,
and Plymouth. So yeah, that's a positive thing.
it is.
We've scored 39 and we've conceded 22.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's
I
not
mean,
bad.
no, it's not bad. And we had like the clean sheets at the start of the season. Um, in terms of players and stats, Isidore's got 8 goals, which I think he's been a revelation, hasn't he? And like
Ah, he's been
people,
brilliant.
people have been saying that I don't think he's a strike. I think he's better on the left wing. I think if you got 8 goals from the start of the season,
Oh yeah.
brilliant.
And a lot of them as well, he didn't play at the start either, Like a lot of that's misleading, Like you might look at a forward right on YouTube and it might say, oh, he scored three, like on Wikipedia, sorry, and it might say he's played three, he scored three in 24 games, but he might have only started five. Do you know what I mean? It's like they taught the same with Jack Grealish, man, when he's at Man City, he said he hasn't scored for a year. And I'm like, well, yeah, but he hasn't started most of the games as well.
Yeah,
Like people don't like same way Isidore. He didn't start every game, did he? When
no,
he started, his record's brilliant.
yep.
It's practically a goal a game when he started games.
Mm,
So yeah, delighted. He's been excellent, hasn't he? You
yeah.
know.
Well, he's got 8 goals, and then the next in line is Job, Rig, and Mundle, who've got 4 each.
Right.
Right, but I mean, obviously, Mundle probably would have got a few more, I reckon, if he'd have been
Yeah.
fit. Mayenda's got 3, and then you've got Ballard, Cirque, and O9, Watson, and Robertson with 2 each. So
Yeah.
we are distributing the goals
We
around the
are.
team, but perhaps should we be expecting a few more goals from some of those players?
Well, certainly I'm gonna dig your man Patrick Roberts out, right? Like again, I've spoke about him, how good he is with a ball trickery. He needs an end product, man. He does, and he's I said it, if he had an end product, he'd be elsewhere. But we need goals off him. We do. I mean, what's he got this season? 2.
Yep.
So that's not good, is it? For someone who plays as a right-sided forward, and it isn't good, is it? 2 goals. I mean, when you look, Watson scored more goals in less games. Watson scored 3, hasn't he? Has he got
Got
2?
two. He's got two. He's
He's
got
on
two
2.
in
He's
less
on
games.
2.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's on the same as him in way less games,
Yeah.
and I just think in my end, I've got more than him, and I bet you Roberts has started more games than my end. In fact, I know he would have done,
Hmm.
so I think he's the one disappointment where I think we need more goals out of Patrick Roberts,
Hmm.
you know.
Well, on the flip side of that, then, Sean, the assist is Mayenda and Roberts have both got 5 assists.
Yeah,
So at least they're doing the job in that
they
sense.
are. They are, of course they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a positive, but come on, get us a few more goals.
Well, the other assists are Riggy, sorry, no, Job and Neil have got 3 assists, Cirque and Human Mundle 2 assists.
Yeah.
So we see to see the creativity in the players that we've got that are doing that.
Yeah.
Another thing then is that we're the team that has had the most free kicks in the attacking third
Are we
in the
really?
league.
There you go.
324 free kicks, and we're number 1 in the league.
I
Yeah,
like the way you've done your research here, by the way. There you go.
thanks to live soccer,
Good lad.
live score stats.
There you
Um,
go.
324 free kicks in the attacking third in the league, in the first in the league, but we can't seem to do anything about them coming up because we don't
Mm.
take advantage.
Have we ever really been? I mean, we've never really had a good set piece taker since Seb Lawson, have we? Let's face it. We're minging on with corner. We just are. It was. Do you know what's funny? At the start of the season, we got a few goals off corners, didn't we? And they were all giving credit. Oh, they're brilliant. And then it's just died off, hasn't it?
Well, I remember
You
like
know?
in the Chef Wed game, I think there was like Cirkin got a header.
Yeah.
Um, I think O9 got a header as well. Down
Yeah.
was it down at Cardiff? I think it might have been down
Yeah,
at
he scored. He scored up a corner down there. It was a free kick, wasn't it? It
yeah.
was. It was a free kick that came in. Yeah, yeah.
And then Ballard got one recently against Swansea, so we are getting
And
better. But I mean,
do you know, especially in that league as well, it's fine margins. It is, man. How many teams win a game 1-0 with a like in a tight game like that when it's scrappy, it's crap, you're not at your best. If you can pinch a 1-0 up ahead of a corner, so what? I'll take the win. I don't care.
mhm,
So we've got to get better at that. We have, you
yeah.
know. And we've got a
Well,
bit more height in the team as well. There's no excuse. Like Metham's a big boy, Job's a big boy. Wilson. There's a lot more physicality in that team now than what there was last season.
mhm,
So you'd expect improvements, wouldn't you? You
yeah,
know,
absolutely. Right, and then shots on target, we're number 3 in the league. We've got 100. We've had 100. I think it's 117 shots on
we've
target.
had a million shots.
117 shots and the number 3. And so, I mean, we have been unlucky, I think with some of the shots on target because they've
Yeah,
either been blocked or saved on the line, hit the port, whatever. So, I mean, yeah, I think we could have had a few goals. But anyway, right, moving on then. So midweek, there was like a real buzz on Weir side with the signing of Enzo Lefebvre
it
coming in
was.
from Rome. I mean, to be honest, I'd never heard of the bloke before. I don't know if you had heard of him.
No,
No.
but obviously you get bought into the hype, don't you? The pedigree and where he's played and how much he's on and how much he's being sold for. So listen, I'm buying into it. I think when you've got Sky Sport, for me it was just the coverage. And like Sky Sports, they're following him, and it was on every news channel. And like even my son heard about it on social media. He went, oh, he's good on FIFA. You know what the youngins are like? He's good on FIFA. They love that one, don't they? Yeah, we'll play him on FIFA.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I'm happy. Honestly, I am. I think the boy looks a player, doesn't he? It's funny because one of the photos I had him in a knee brace. I thought, oh crap, that's just what we need, isn't it? I thought, get in there. He's in a knee brace. So, but now look, I don't know how you feel, but I think adding quality into an already decent young side, I think it's a plus, it's a win, So let's see how he does.
Yeah, well, I mean, he knows obviously the breeze very well. I think that was the
Yeah,
main pull, wasn't it, getting
yeah,
him? But he has been sold twice for 20 million euros,
yeah,
and he was playing at Rome, who was like obviously a historical
of
Italian team.
course. Yeah,
So it seems that he can play anywhere across the midfield. So
brilliant.
he can
We
play
love a
like,
bit of versatility, don't we?
yeah. So, um, what do you think on Friday? Do you think he'll go straight in, or do you think he'll be on the bench?
Do you know what? Right, he's left feet. He's Regis's man, isn't he? Right, like he knows. Do you know? I think he'll play. I think he'll start him. I think he'll play Neil, Job, and Lefay. I think he'll give Rig a rest. I do honestly think that's what I think. I think he'll play I think he'll chuck them straight in. Because if the rumors are true and stuff, right? He's on. They reckon they're paying his 80 wedge a week. He's on 80 grand a week, and they're saying Sunderland's covering it. Yeah, if that's true, there's no way he's sitting on the bench. There's no way that club's paying that and letting him sit on the bench. They're not.
Yeah.
We're not in a position to. So he's on big money. He's got a big reputation. He's come to play football, hasn't he? So I think he's going to start him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do.
but I mean, hopefully he can have the same impact as Ahmad. I mean, Ahmad came with a lot of hype, didn't he? Because
Yeah,
he'd been sold for Man United for 40 million euros, I think it was some
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago, and so hopefully he can have the same impact as him. But yeah, we've got Burnley on Friday then, Sean. It is a massive game. If we beat them, we go ahead of them.
It's huge.
I mean, what would your approach be for this game? What do you think is going through Reese's head? Like, go there and try not to lose, or go there and just like go for the win?
We try and win the game. Listen, a draw benefits them. It doesn't benefit us because it's as you were, And I think we beat them at the Stadium of Light, right? Like I loved it because they were giving excuses, weren't they, at the Stadium of Light? Oh, they come too early. All right, well, the season starts in August. What do you want to like? What do you want? When the season starts. So the excuses they made were so. I want to go there and get at them, play on the front foot, and just play. Look, we can get at them, we can beat them, we can. I know they don't concede many goals, do they? But I watched teams win in the championship, right? Like they were all talking about Blackburn the other week when they'd like won 5 or 6 in a row. I watched them do the crap. We're way better than them. Like, so I just look at teams that they go, oh, they're really good enough. The shite. Sheffield United, prime example. Everyone spoke on how good they were. We battered them at Bramall Lane. I think we did with 10 men, and then we beat them at Sunderland.
Mm.
So I don't fear any team in this league. And I think, I might get a bit, but I said from weeks ago, I think we're the best team in this league. I honestly do. And I think on the day we can beat anyone. So why would we go there and fear them? Let's get at them. Let's get on the front foot and let's try and get a goal or two and put them away.
Yeah, no, I think the results would back up your claim there, like of like being the best team in the league, and no one really scares us
No,
because
they
we, we
don't.
we've played them all, and we beat Sheffield United once, we lost once closely, we played better than them. Um, but
Well,
it,
the speak about Leeds, right? People talk about how good Leeds are, right? You go back that game at the Stadium of Light, right? They were good for 20, they had a good spell, and you thought these look decent. Listen, the 2 goals, right? I thought one was offside, one was a foul. I thought the talk about that second goal we got with a keeper mistake, right? I thought they were lucky to be 2-1 up. I honestly do.
yeah,
I think they had a bit of luck, but again, they didn't beat with. So, and I don't think they'll beat with Ellen Road neither, by the way.
and they
So,
didn't last year, didn't they? We got a draw,
no, yeah. So,
and I remember that because the Sunderland bus got a fine, didn't it, for parking in the wrong place,
it was class, that.
and
Yeah.
then and then we took a point from them.
Do you think they paid it or not?
Uh, but yeah, probably happily, and they left like an FU note.
Yeah.
Right. So judging by your comments there, Sean, you reckon we're going to go three in midfield, and then just one up front with Isidore, and then on the wings.
Yeah.
But on the wings, then who like does Roberts play on the right, or does Miranda play on the right? Does O'Shea's keep his place on the left? Does Miranda go on the left? That's a big decision, isn't it?
It is. You know what? He's got a few options. I was thinking about it because we're sad, aren't we? Us? We're always thinking about stuff like this, aren't we? You know, like, so I was thinking, right? I'd probably put Rig on the right and Roberts on the left. I think you could, honestly, right? Like Riggy would do a job on the right, and like Roberts would do it, and then Isidore through the middle. Because Patrick Roberts is left, get him on his natural side, see what he can do, have them alternating and stuff. But then that's a way of getting Rig, Lefay, Job. That's a way of getting all three of them in the team as well.
Do you that?
You know, and
Do you think that's important? Trying to get all those players on the pitch at the same time?
yeah, I don't believe all this waffle when they turn around and go, oh, it didn't work with England when he tried to get all his best players. Nah, you coach your team properly and you have the right setup and players know what they're doing. You can get your best players on the pitch. And listen, the more better players you've got, the better chance you've got to win in the game. Because you only need one or two better, more like you only need one or two more of them to perform, and you'll win the game. And I just think, for me, try and get them on the pitch, and it would mix it up a little bit as well, wouldn't it? Because what else can we do on the left? Really, like you said there, how she be unlucky if he didn't start, but I don't know. I'd go with the same formation. I don't think we're 4-4-2 against them at their place. I think it'll be risky. I
Hmm.
do. I think
Hmm.
we need the three in the middle.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I
yeah,
would agree with that. Right then. So the transfer window is open. We've signed Lefay. There's rumours that we're looking for another striker. I think Ben Burrett and Diaz has been linked from Southampton on loan.
I take him. By the way,
Yeah,
is that the Chilean boy with the
yeah,
Lancashire name?
yeah. That's him.
Good lad.
I don't know because when he played for Blackburn, he seemed to play on the left wing.
Right.
And he scored most of his goals like coming in the left wing, and they had like Sam Gallagher up front,
Yeah.
and then he got a move to Villarreal. I think they signed him as a forward, as a centre forward. It didn't work out there. He went to Southampton, hasn't worked out there. He had a loan move at Sheffield United last year, and I think he bagged a few goals, but
Right.
he just seems to have lost his way a little bit. And I just think that the way he plays, tendency to come in on the left wing, I just don't think we need to strengthen in that area. And I think if you put him up front, I don't think he's going to give you that. I don't think he's going to give you that centre forward option that we need as backup to Wilson.
Is it that much of a risk though? Because what risk are you taking? You're bringing in a forward who's done pretty good at Blackburn and stuff. What's the worst that can happen? He comes in and gets a couple.
Yeah,
And there could be, this is the thing, man. There could be like, he could come in and score three, but there could be winners against Leeds. There could be a winner again. There could be real big point. So I think he's not a bad player. He's an international footballer. He
mm,
plays for a decent nation. Um, like you see, he did come off the left a bit more. Down the left was strongest. When Mundle's back and Watson's back, and without Sheesh, down the left's probably one of the strongest, where we're solid there, aren't we?
mm,
So we don't need him to be off the left, but we do need cover for Wilson. We do. I honestly think we do. And if he's available, look, I'd get him in. But
mm,
that's
mm.
just me.
All right. What about other positions do you think we need to strengthen? I think one of the key ones probably right back, coming
Yeah,
for
it is.
Trachum.
I even think right side. I think the right side in general. Um, but you're right with Trey because listen, obviously I get Luke O'Neill can play there, right? He can, right? It's not ideal, but he can. And Dan Neil used to play there. Remember when Dan Neil first made his debut? He's at right back.
And
And hey, listen,
and left back.
was he a left back as well?
He was at right back and he was at left back, I think. Yeah.
Was he really? Dear me. Well, and hey, listen, he didn't look out of place, did he? He looked okay. So good players can play anywhere. So we're not as weak there as what you think, because we do have versatility. Like even Jensen Sealed, however you say his name.
Yeah.
I know he's not ideal. He's not going to give you that forward, penetration that you need, but defensively, he's pretty solid.
Hmm.
So we do have. It's not the end of the world if we don't sign a one.
And
I'd be more concerned about the left because now that obviously Elise is injured,
it
which
looked
was
a bad one, didn't it?
it's a shame for the boy as well because it's a tough one that because if you don't like it seems to happen to us all the time in the cups and happened to Ross Stewart as well, didn't it? And now they're going, well, I shouldn't have played. Well, he could have got injured anywhere. Do you know
Anyway,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Nah, yeah.
But like with him and then Sirkin, obviously, can you get a full season out of Sirkin? That for me is the biggest one down the left. And as much as I thought Helder had a good game. I think he's better at centre back than a left back.
Hmm.
So for me, down the left, I think's more worrying than the right.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
you might be right there as well, yeah. Um Alan Brown can also play right back, apparently, according to press and
Hey,
fans who have been bombarding my social media feed
he
after a
can
post.
he can play right forward as well.
Uh-huh.
At the start of the season when he came in, right, and he was coming on for Rig and stuff. People were thinking, oh, he'll go centre mid. He was playing as a right forward. I think down at Cardiff he come on as a right-sided forward, and everyone was like, oh, they're about to put Rig there and move him in the middle, and they didn't.
Mm,
So he can do a job there as well, Alan Brown. I think he's a versatile footballer as well.
yeah.
So because down that right side, like obviously Jan Pavera or Ian Pavera, whatever you want to call him, come on, he ain't kicked the ball yet. He came back and then got injured again, sitting on the bench, didn't he? Now he's out again. So you cannot rely on him. We need someone to push Roberts. We do, and for me, it's got to be a right-sided forward. That should be our next priority, in my opinion. You
hmm
know,
Oh, well, we'll see then. Right, before we wrap up then, Sean, prediction for Friday night, and are you going to be watching the match?
I am. Yes. Listen, I'm positive, aren't I? I've said it. Like this is going to be tough because these are a decent side, aren't they? Especially at their place, and they don't concede. But again, look, you know, we didn't lose there last season, did we? Or the season before, when it was when it was 0-0. I remember. I
Yep,
think it was the year they got promoted, wasn't it?
yep.
We can go there and get a result. I think we can.
hmm
I'm gonna go with a cheeky little 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a 0-0 because I
Oh
think like
yeah.
they've
I
they've
would
got
to be. Would I take a point? I don't know, because like it's weird, isn't it? Because you know how people say I would take a draw. Well, I wouldn't if we're 1-0 up in the 95th minute. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
there's draws that you think, no, I'm not having it. Like, but if you're getting beat and you're under the cosh a bit, and then you think, good point that.
yeah,
So when people say I take a draw, well, it depends on the game,
yeah. No, no, it
like
does, it does. Yeah,
because
but
there's draws that have gutted, isn't there? Like,
yeah,
you look at some games this season and go, I'm annoyed with the draw, like Millwall and stuff.
yeah,
And it took a draw before the game was kicked, but to concede in the 93rd minute, I was raging. So
yeah.
it could be the same at Burnley.
Well, fingers crossed. But anything but a defeat will do me. But
Yeah.
right, Sean, mate, thanks for your time today. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Have a good week, and how
Yeah.
are the lads?
Same to you. How are the lads? Thank you, everyone.